I'm so excited. Thank you for having me on the show.
Trash, cash, trash, cash, trash, cash. Is the idea trash or is cash? Let us know. Yes, maybe so, or for sure, it's a no. Should we stop while we ahead and turn around, or it's a go? Trash or is cash? Go on ahead, submit your vote. Hey, yo, check dig. You're now tuned in to Trash or Cash Podcast, the show where the host will present a new idea and debate whether it's trash or cash. But the final decision is solely up to you, the audience.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the Trash or Cash Podcast, a show for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. So the idea about all this is simple. A couple entrepreneurs like us, we get together, we pitch each other an idea that we think might have the potential to become a really big, successful business idea, right? But as you know, not all ideas are good. So when reality sets in, it might not be that good of an idea depending on what the person across the table thinks about it. But, it's all up in our head till then. Let's get it out here on the table. So we're going to have our wild ideas out there to show each other. Try to figure out if something that we brought up is either a cash idea, meaning it's a good idea, or if it should just really just be trash. So that's it. I mean, that's as simple as that. So, and the thing is, who knows? Like, one of these ideas might go out there in the world and be the next unicorn, the next Facebook, the next big thing. Who knows, right? So, but we don't know. We're just gonna be out here figuring it out, right? So that's it. That's the whole purpose of the idea. So you excited about that?
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me on the show.
You're welcome. So that sexy voice, my friends, if you're not watching but just listening, is Sal Matt. How do you say your last name again?
Al Madinelli.
Madalani, right? And I'm not going to even take a wild guess on where that comes from. You can share that with us if you want to. But here's what you should know about Sal. We met through a mutual friend, Nihat, who actually helped us buy our house. And we ran into each other at one of the meetups, right? Like it was a real estate meetup, and then got to know each other. And then I was like, oh, I'm in the same space. I do this thing with Airbnb hosts. You're on Airbnb way more than just on Airbnb, obviously, but like you have a whole property management company that is a high-end vacation rental property. And I say high-end because she asks for people, like we have a big Facebook group, and she always is asking for these, hey, does anybody know where I can find a castle on a mountain somewhere in the middle of Tampa for the Arabian prince that's coming into town?
You're
and
funny.
He's very particular, and there's got to be a lake and a beach and an airplane plat and like all these crazy requests. And people are like, who's this person's like guest? Like who's her clientele? But like it's always it's never a normal ask. It's always some like high end kind of ask. And it's just like, man, she's obviously onto something. She's obviously connected, and she's a really great person. So that's the other thing. Like you can't never really tell when you meet a person online who they really are. But as we got to know each other, she's really sweet. And now we're vibing here. Like this right here is a month ago. I would have never thought we were actually doing this. So that's pretty cool. Sal, I want you to talk and tell us exactly about your, what is it, coastal property? What is it? Suncoast? I forget.
I can help you out.
Help me out. I don't want to leave anything important out.
I got you, Jason. That's what I'm here for. So it's called the Sunshine State Hosting. We got our name from being centrally located in the south of Florida. And of course, for everyone who is already from Florida or is not, you already know that we are known for the sunshine. So it's called the Sunshine State Hosting. And just in a nutshell, what we do is we do property management for vacation rentals. We'll turn a house that is empty into, a little mini resort. And we try to really take the hotel world and the vacation world and put it into one with the Sunshine State Hosting.
When you say we, are you the principal or your partner? How's that work for, your business?
So I am the principal of the company or the founder. So when I say we, I talk about our team. We have a team of online marketers, virtual assistants. We have cleaners. We have handymen. That's what I mean by we.
How did you get into this particular business, if I may ask? Like, did you fall into it? Did you inherit it? Were you always in the hospitality business? Like, how did Sal become my property pal? Trademark.
Yeah. So I love that question, actually, Jason. I'm glad that you asked it. The way I fell into it, it was kind of interesting because I kind of was tired of working for corporate and living paycheck to paycheck. And I just started with my own pad. I started with half of the place that I was, living in. I needed to pay rent. And my sister had gotten accepted to a university in New York, and it was just getting tough. And so I thought about ways to make passive income, and what came up for me was Airbnb. Soon after doing half of my pad, I had a couple from Canada stay at my pad, half of my pad, and they said they had 12 properties. Mind you, I'm running around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to manage only half a pad. And I was like, wait, how are you doing that? And they basically, Jason just took me under their wing and were like, kind of like the Rich Dad, Poor Dad methodology. I don't know if you read the book, but if you didn't, please check it out. It changed my life. For an exchange of, helping them with their 12 properties, I gained experience, and, they gained a property manager.
So are those the people you partner with for this, or this?
No, they were just the people who
took you under their wing,
and they educated me on how to do what I do today.
Got it. And that's funny. You kept saying pad. It's funny because long story short, I used to run about 25 doors of Airbnb in Philly, which is kind of what brought us together over time here.
Right.
And I'm about branding, so I used to call it Dad's Pads. And I used to catch crap from my friends. Oh, is that like a diaper? And I'm like, yeah, it's a diaper. Shut the hell up and just rent this property. But it was just funny to me because I knew that was going to happen. It was like, because the word pad doesn't work for everybody, but the fact, and then I think, there's also a book called Get Paid for Your Pad, and that's probably another reason why you call it that. I think
I actually recommended that book.
Well, we're going to talk about that too, because I was going to ask you a recommendation. Sorry, I blew up the spot, but no, I'm just kidding. We could talk about that later because fun fact, and I'll leave it till then. We're going to circle back to that.
Of course.
So real quick, I want to ask you 3 questions, and I usually ask these questions of everybody that I'm trying to get to know better, or just basically introduce to my friends, let's say. And the answers that you give always give me a pretty good idea of like what you really care about, and where you're headed in life. So that's my get to know you question. So are you ready for those?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
go for it.
What are you most proud of?
I am most proud of basically having the Sunshine State not even, being a thing, and starting about 6 years and a half ago and making this into a company, into giving others a job, giving others hope, especially, in the past time of 2020, giving people hope that, they could start something from nothing. I think that's what I'm most proud of.
Sounds like in your journey, you've probably helped the same way you were helped, if I'm hearing it right. A few people who had no idea what to do, maybe they were in a tough spot, had a property, and it was like, I was drowning or whatever, and you kind of helped them make money out of something that was basically a problem to them before, and you gave them a solution that helped everybody. Is that accurate? Did you have a couple people like those you kind of...
That is absolutely accurate. I did have people who didn't know what they were going to do, what their next move was, and vacation rentals and having an STR, that's short for short-term rental, turn nothing into an income.
So how many of these do you manage right now, if you don't mind me asking?
So we're at 23.
Okay.
And that means
all here local or
all South Florida.
South Florida, got it.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite? Like if you had one, I'm not trying to blow up your spot, but like if there was a property that's like, oh my God, that's such a beautiful place. Like, is there one that stands out for you?
Yes, there is. There's one in Tampa it's waterfront, and it's only 5 minutes from the boat marina, and a lot of people who come, with boats, they dock their boats, and it's just the view and watching the sunset. I love that one. And you can go kayaking.
How big is it?
I don't know from the top of my head how
big. How many does it sleep?
It sleeps 8.
Okay, got it. Exactly how many I have in my family.
Look at that.
Look at that. What are you most excited about right now?
I'm excited about seeing how fast and how big that the Sunshine State could scale. I'm excited about, adding more people to my team, people who are in the same industry, who have the same expertise. I'm really looking to grow, and I'm excited to see where that will take, where that will take us.
Hospitality industry is definitely interesting.
Yeah, it is.
It can go a lot of different ways. As we've witnessed with Airbnb, the rise and fall, and then kind of like what's some of the offshoots that have developed from that, and alternative sort of businesses, because the market's always changing. So I'm definitely interested to see how this. What's cool about Florida and here, I mean, just anything near water is like it's always going to be a destination. So you don't really have to worry about it like say up north or some other places where it's kind of super seasonal. Here, I think the low season's like maybe 2 months out of the year, possibly 3. So a lot more seasonality here. So that makes it a prime spot to kind of put your flag down and do that business here.
Yeah.
What is your vision for the future?
That's beautiful. My vision, it's a beautiful vision. What I see the Sunshine State hosting doing, I see it becoming in all Florida, not just south of Florida. I see us, giving more people the opportunity to open businesses in this industry and to partner up or do, joint ventures together. I see us giving more jobs to people who have cleaning companies, giving more jobs to handymen. I see the Sunshine State hosting turning more into resorts, turning more beautiful homes with waterfronts or, swimming pools and hot tubs. I just see that flourishing, basically.
The vision sounds and I, it's just because I'm hearing you, like Marriott Envoys, kind of like this version of something like that. But I think, this is more home and unique properties. And
absolutely.
Corporate is good if you want corporate and that, but like if you want like experience and things like that, I think that's where you can double down on these unique properties and experiences, even with the commoditization of all the houses and maybe some people just kind of just turning anything into a short-term rental.
Yeah.
Unique properties are always going to stand out. Waterfront properties are always going to stand out. You can't really get that out of a hotel.
No.
So you're
and that's why we bring home and hotel experiences into one, because hotels don't have the option of, they don't have usually washer dryer installed in them. They don't have kitchens. They don't have, it's hard, you can't put a whole family into a hotel unless you're getting a suite, but even though you're still limited, it's a place to create memories with your friends, your family, and that's what we're trying to do is bring that hotel hospitality, plus that homey, cozy, and combine it into one.
Do you, within that, do you guys like wrap experiences and kind of connect them with, I don't know, gator boat rides or anything that's kind of local? Or have you gotten into that at all yet?
Yeah,
okay.
We actually, we do guidebooks, and we work with, there's, some locals. We tell them, hey, we bring in this amount of, guests or clientele into town, and if we tell them that they're staying with us, could you do something like a 10% discount or a 15% discount? So yeah, to answer your question, Jason, we do guidebooks, and we try to connect them with locals and experiences.
What about like local chefs or like massage therapists or anything like that? Do you guys, is that part of your guidebook too, or that's still being built out?
We definitely recommend, spas in the area, but we haven't gotten that far.
All right, so now we're going to go into the fun part. I mean, this was fun, but the fun part is the ideas and figuring out which of us is cash and which of us is trash. Or maybe we're both trash, or maybe we're both cash. I'm down to get trashy either way. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to pitch you an idea, one of the many that may have came from my brain. Either I'm working on it now, or I had it in my head from years ago, and I kind of like, I like to listen to what you say, and then I have a kind of a list here, and I'm like, maybe you should like that one. I'll go first, and then you basically are going to, write down what you want to write down, and then once I say, okay, so what do you think? You hold out the paddle and tell us which one it is, and then why, and I promise not to get revenge on you when it's your turn.
Okay. You don't have to be too easy on me.
Nah, it's cool. So let me think. What do I got for you? So she's had an experience of Trashmitter, which, that's the app that I created. It's on-demand trash removal, and, you had a problem, same piece or something like that, and we got that thing done pretty quickly.
Yeah,
so
you saved us.
Well, there you go. Like, so people don't realize, like, trash, especially in the hospitality business, it snowballs into such a mess of things. The pests, oh, the area looks sketchy because you just see a candy wrapper on the floor. I mean, people are kind of silly these days with that, but you know, the neighbors being pissed off and people just trying to like outlaw STRs now because they're just like, oh, parties and trash. And so that was, you know, this was my anger at how trash can escalate into, you know, messing with your money, messing with your neighbors, getting you code enforcement problems. And then, you know, it just blossomed to the other things. And now, you know, like you got to experience it firsthand.
Yep.
I want to touch on something that's probably not trash related because, you know, you deserve better.
Thanks.
How about real estate? Like, what's your experience with like flipping houses and that kind of stuff? Were you ever in that world?
No, I'm not, but I feel like I have enough knowledge in the, you know, just from colleagues being in that world.
Okay.
So you could try me.
Okay. So I had this idea and it's still kind of percolating, especially now with AI. So I like to think in terms of movies, right? I don't know if you've ever seen Saw. Remember the Saw movies? People get trapped in a house and they have to like undo. They're kind of gory, but they have to like undo a trap or they die. They have to like confess something because they're all sinners or they're all like criminals or something.
Oh.
Okay. Well, it's kind of like a basis or speed or like there's like this. You get a phone call and then this whole movie triggers from the phone call. Like, we're watching you. You need to do this, that, and the other thing, or somebody's gonna die. Like this idea of an adventure, right? So I had this concept for an app called Wholesale or Die. And what it was a 30-day program for people trying to learn how to do real estate. But instead of them like trying to go through a book or watch a bunch of videos per se, it would be like a daily, almost like a story that you're in.
Yeah.
And the first day, like I'll paint you the scenario. Like you're in the shop, you're shopping, and so you get a phone call. It's like, hey, what are you doing? Who's this? Don't worry about who this is. I know you're like disappointed with your life. I can see you right now. You're over there buying these Cheetos, and you don't need to be eating that. You know, but you're already fat. You don't need to be, you're already miserable. So it's kind of like, who the hell is this? And like this adventure, somebody's talking to you on the phone, and basically the premise is in the story, like you're maybe somebody you need a lot of money, like $10,000, like as an emergency right away. Like somebody needs an operation, or you're about to get foreclosed or something like that. So it basically takes the idea of a person, just a normal person who starts out shopping, and somebody calls them on their phone and inspires them to start doing something where they're going to make that $10,000. And it's called Wholesale or Die. The idea is if you don't get this done in 30 days, someone's going to die or you know, somebody's going to die of a disease or whatever. So it's kind of an adventure-based role-playing game through your phone that will teach you how to go out there and market for real estate, find buyer, get a deal, find buyers, and it'll take you through in a way like it's like a game where you, almost like a movie, you have to experience it. And if you don't, you either fall behind and you'll fail. But you know, I wanted to make it like multimedia so that you would see this stuff on the screen and the person you're living through it. So it would feel like you were living in a movie and you had this person just, you don't even know who they are. They're just calling you and they're telling you what to do. They're acting like they can see you. They're telling you, hey, put down that Twinkie, or, you know, go pick up that sign or whatever. Like they're actually watching you and like you're just in it. So this was meant because long ago I used to like do wholesaling real estate and people coaching, and it was kind of like, you always got to tell them what to do, and they say they want something, but they don't really want it. Because if you go back and you ask them, did you do your homework this week? They're like, nah, man, this came up and that came up and I was tired. And it's like, you pay all this money for this knowledge and then you don't do the action behind it. So it was the idea of like this, like I said, it's like a performance app instead of working out. It was like creating this income, and you have 30 days to do it or you die. Right. So now that you've heard that weird idea, and I actually wrote it. You got to do it the right way. So like pick a paddle. Okay. You know, that's the trash idea. Okay. Which is it? Show us which one you got.
I have the cash one.
She thinks it's a cash idea. Good, because it will produce cash and
it will produce results.
So take me through. Like, that's why you liked it, or what part of it did you like the most?
I like the pressure part. Maybe because I work under pressure. So I like the idea of you have a deadline to accomplish this. That's the part that I liked. That's what stuck out for me.
Fear of loss is greater than like the gain. So like that's why I was kind of like feel like that was the trigger, because it was kind of like if you put something that was so big that you had to do it or virtually die, then I think that gives you more incentive. Like if a doctor tells you got 30 days to live if you don't change your diet, you might change your diet. So for me, that's kind of like that was the trigger for me, is like, what are they going to lose if they don't do this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And talking about that, I just remembered Gary Vee. He talked about once, he said that he always thinks, he has this mentality that if he doesn't accomplish this, or if he doesn't do something, that all of his family is going to die in hell. So like, he's always, and of course he holds his family so dear to his heart, so he's always under that mentality to, there's, to act, and to take action, and to do what he loves, and to make things happen. So I like that, to just burn the boats. I love that idea.
I love the sentiment, but I think Gary Vee, didn't he just get like a girlfriend now and supposedly get divorced or something? Like he got something going on.
I don't know. I wasn't
mean,
watching the drama. I wasn't keeping up with the drama.
I think he got like a young girlfriend now. So, I mean, it worked to a certain point, I guess. I guess he decided that part of his family was worth the risk, and the other part, well, I don't know. Let me not get into that man's business, because he'd probably be like, I ain't coming on your podcast because you're talking shit. Anyway, all right, so that was my turn. It was a cash idea. Thank you very much. All right, so let's hear what you got for us, Miss Sal. What do you got for the Trash and Cash crew?
So this idea, I actually was thinking about it not too long ago, and I love traveling a lot, and I might have kind of came up with this idea from traveling, but to do it on our own twist here in Florida. It's basically, everybody loves to go to the beach here in Florida, and they always have to walk all the way back to the bars or to the restaurants to grab a water, or grab something fresh, or grab anything that's really good and yummy. And a lot of the food on the beach, I feel that it's just so yucky, and I don't like it. I was wondering to do like a to-go company that basically you offer, chilled drinks and fresh fruits and fresh, snacks, where you bring it out to people who are, laying down by the beach. So it'd be like, a fresh bowl of, fruits, done nicely, or a fresh meal, but it's actually delicious, not crappy. What they
got it.
like,
so not the ice cream truck kind of guys that sometimes will push the cart, or
the
like
soggy fried fish that they're offering, on the beach. Like something really good, something fresh, and All
right, so I'm going to give this a cash idea, cash, and I'm going to tell you why. Versions, so this could work, and versions of it kind of already exist, or are being introduced into the world. What they're using it for now is the stadium, like people coming to your seat with your orders instead of you going up to stand in lines. Mm-hmm. Now, I've heard people developing apps. I don't know if any of them are out there yet, but this is kind of an extension of that. And just off of what you're telling me, in a way, it's like a DoorDash for the beach.
Yeah.
But you're saying healthier products. And I could see you don't need a lot to do that. I mean, you could literally just have a food truck with an app nearby and run it out of that for any local beach.
Like scan a QR and then have like this nice, flag with a number on it that would come to you that you would take, or you could get really creative with that, I think.
So how technology-wise, it wouldn't be too hard with location pins, I guess. So as a cash idea, there's just going to take a lot of work. Obviously, paying ahead of time so that the person doesn't run out there and then you decide to leave.
It would be online.
It would have to be an app, because in the beach, it's like you're not bringing computers. So it's like, it's got to be an app. It's got to be, I'm the guy in the red thong. How do we find this guy? Right? Like you got to be able to,
Not the guy with the red thong.
Yes. I'm the one who hasn't shaved in months. I'll be easy to spot.
Don't paint the
nobody's
picture,
near
Jason.
Me. Borat's cousin over here.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, like I would say it's almost like any restaurant near a beach could perform this. So that's the play. You make the app that connects all the restaurants to this one menu, and each one of them could probably do a piece of the menu. Like, the thing about the beach is like everything that's easy around there is normally like fried foods and burgers and stuff like that. But have that, because that's where they're at, at the beach. But also have the salad places or whatever, and just make it so it's not. What do they call that? They call it not ambidextrous. It's agnostic, meaning it's not one restaurant, it's all the restaurants, and you got all their menus, and they all work through that app. So the person that comes out, it could be your salad, it could be drinks from the bar, whatever, but they can find you on the beach, and it's just based on location. Because in a way, it's almost like kind of like what I'm doing with TrashMate or even Uber, just crowdsourcing everybody who's on this thing, and then just taking a little piece of the transaction to make sure that they get to the right person. And it could work. It could work because it's definitely better than waiting on the guy to come with his little cart screaming ice cream, and then your kids are like, oh, I want that too. And it's like, you just had 12 things, like relax. So, and when we go to the beach, my wife takes everything, like literally, like we could probably survive for a good amount of time out there. But you don't go to the beach to eat the sandwiches from home. You're like, I want something else, right?
So something refreshing, something to keep you hydrated in the sun.
Yeah.
That's what, the idea that is coming up, because I'm like always dehydrated on the beach. I'll finish my water always, or my fruits. Like, it's good to have something cold and fresh.
Yeah, I mean, and it, like I say, it could be fresh. That's important. I mean, you can even get an upcharge for that. But the point is, like, just for everybody to have that, because that's a good thing to have. So it is a cash idea. Wouldn't take much work to do. You just got to get the restaurants locally to say yes to it, and you're just like the intermediary. So that's actually, there's probably somebody out there could take that sucker and run with it. And 2 years from now, you should probably
You're
give
welcome.
her some. Yeah, you should probably give her a couple points
pay
on the
me
deal.
royalties.
Yeah. What would you call it? What would you call that thing?
Fresh waves.
Fresh way. That's not bad. It's beach centric. I mean, you start with that niche because then people know when they go to the beach is that. Like, so that's
Beach grubs.
yeah, that might be bad. Sandwich.
I like that.
Which sandwich? I don't know. But anyway, all right, that's cool. So that wasn't a bad idea. Okay, cool. I think it could make money. Wouldn't take too much doing. I think it could scale. I give it a cash, not a trash. All right, so good. How'd you feel about that?
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
Cool. So before we wrap all this up, I just wanted to ask you if you had any books or podcasts or anything, and you didn't mention one. So let's talk about that book you wanted to mention.
Yeah, so there's this book that actually was my first book that I read 6.5 years ago, probably going on 7 now. And it's called How to Airbnb Your Pad. So that book started it all,
So there's a bunch of those books. Was it Get Paid for Your Pad? How to Airbnb Your Pad? Like which?
Do you mind if I actually?
No, go ahead. Look, because I have a feeling there was two guys that did books of similar ones. And I know because I read them. One was Jasper Rivers, which I've actually met. I think he's Get Paid for Your Pad. And then the one you're talking about, the Daniel Rustine might be him.
Yep, it is Jasper. It's Jasper.
Jasper Rivers, right?
Yeah, it's Jasper because I remember there was someone from Holland also. Yeah. There are two authors. It's Jasper and Huzaifa. It's Get Paid for Your Pad. Yeah, that's the Can I show it to the camera? Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Nice. Get paid for your pad.
Yeah.
Look up. You gotta look up Jasper Rivers.
So I just want to add something to that, Jason. Yeah. That every book, it's kind of like when you're reading a book. It's kind of like going to the grocery store and shopping for the ingredients that you're going to cook for your recipe or for your meal. Not everything's going to resonate with you, but just take what will help you. This is in the Airbnb world. There's always so many things that are advancing and changing in the algorithms and all of that stuff. But so you're always constantly having to learn, always, and updating the information that you know. But this was a great starter.
I think he was if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the first ones to put out a book about Airbnb. He's like the OG of books. I'm just not saying he's the oldest.
I believe it if this is true because it was such a long time ago, and there wasn't that much books back then.
I met him in New Orleans 6 years ago, and we kind of talk here and there. So that's kind of funny that you picked that book, but he's a cool dude. So, definitely a good, decent book resource. So I'm going to give you one. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because of your personality. I think this one, you probably already read it, but this is when I talk to you and I think of you and when we kind of talk and chat on Facebook and text or whatever. The Go-Giver by Bob Berg. Have you ever read that?
I didn't.
You got to read that.
The Go-Giver.
The Go-Giver. It's the power of just giving so generously that and we talked about it. you're just giving and you're not thinking about like what's going to
No
come back to you.
expectation, yeah.
But the joy of just doing that, and then like how to really, because at the end of the day, we can always say I'm going to do that, but how do you keep it going? Like how does that stay in your soul? How do you keep doing it and where it stays altruistic versus I'm doing it because I know I'm supposed to get something back, right?
Yep.
Like the reciprocity thing, because that's what happens. But
Yep.
this is more. This book, I read it. Tell me what you think later.
Yep.
That's my suggestion.
I love that. Thank you.
We're almost at the end here. So I just want to mention and give props to the place that we're in, the collab. Actually, this is the first place at one of the meetings where we met in meet space and not online, in real person space. The Real Freedom Collab, as it is called now. It's a place for entrepreneurs in the real estate, crypto, and tech space to come together and collaborate. That's why it's called the collab. And, it's a membership place, but, I think you've probably been approached about that. But either way, and these are the resources we have to share with each other. We got this podcast studio, we got meeting rooms, we got a big old spot over there where we can do meetings and the meetups and that we had last week, right? Another one next week. And, I just want to invite people, like if you're in Tampa and you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for places to kind of rub shoulders with people that are not just a WeWork where people kind of disappear in their offices and you never see them, but you're trying to like make connections with people in real estate, Airbnb space, technology space, crypto space. They're all right here in this space. And I wanted to give props and say, thanks. I'm glad that this place exists because we get to do this. Also, if anybody out there listening to this wants to connect with us in Tampa, they could either go to the Trash or Cash podcast, and there's probably a button there to connect to the collab, or you can go to the realfreedomclub.com, and that would also get you here. And you can also just reach out to me on Jason Centeno on the Dad Next Door. That's kind of my personal handle, or Trash Mitter. That would be like the business one. And, connect with me there, ask about it. You can ask, you've been here too, but you can ask us about it and hopefully, join us one of these days. So for you, Miss Thang, I want to give you the opportunity to let people know like how, who you want to do business with, how they can connect with you, how they can find you, if they want to let you do the professional co-hosting or property management that you do for them. Let us know how people can get in touch with you, your preferred method, and share who you're looking to do business with.
Absolutely. So the type of people that I'm looking to do business with, if we look for certain properties that qualify, and when I say qualify, it's just a level of, like you said, it's not fancy, but a medium of, renovated homes that are close to popular areas such as downtown, the beaches, the airports, convention centers. So I'm looking for clients who have homes or, properties that are close to those hot areas. You can find me at my IG handle, which is Sally Salsul, and that's Sally, Sally. Salsul is spelled SALSOOL. Or you can reach out to our business IG handle, and that's the Airbnb Sunshine Manager. It's just spelled how it is, the Airbnb Sunshine Manager.
Cool. And your clients typically are more in the upscale kind of?
So our clients, that's a great question. You were a part of a few times where we have clients that, and this is just that my background is Middle Eastern, so I fly back home to see family. And when I say I fly back home, my family's originally from Syria, but I have family that live in Dubai, the UAE. So I've had a lot of family and friends that I know in UAE. So they come here and they want to vacation. They want to be, I'm sure people from Dubai, they already have a certain standard of living. So for us, when I'm hosting these people, I want it to be a nice, a beautiful space, a place with waterfront, swimming pools, hot tubs, close to everything that they would need. So those are the clients that you probably, have heard me asking for places, but that's not all of our clientele. We get clients from VRBO and Airbnb and direct booking.
It was more just to kind of, so people that like, if I was to say, I'm going to give you my house, what kind of people are going to be here? There's people that
they're vetted for sure.
Yeah.
They're definitely vetted, and we want to make sure that they have a good record staying at other Airbnbs, and their IDs are verified.
You do a deeper check than Evolve. Yeah?
Absolutely. Yep.
Did you ever get placed for your basketball player?
Yes, I did actually. Yep.
What did that person get? You don't have to tell us who.
What did that person get?
What kind of property did you put them in? Like,
Yep. So I put them. They wanted a place close to the Edition Hotel in Tampa. So I found a place that's actually only 4 minutes away from the Edition Hotel. They got a suite that's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and it has beautiful amenities.
all right, perfect. I think that's it for us. And guys, if you guys want to out there listening, seeing this or whatever, want to see more Trash or Cash talk, maybe even pitch us your idea. I mean, in the future, we might have you up on the screen. Give us a 5-minute pitch. Make sure you subscribe to the pod on Spotify and YouTube and connect with us at trashorcash.podcast.com. Don't leave out the podcast, Trash or Cash Podcast. And if you're in Tampa, you're more than welcome to join us at one of our events and come get trashy with us at one of our meetups or possibly on the podcast. If I like you, you could be on here doing this. Maybe not with her, so she's not part of the deal. Maybe, if she could come back, yeah, great. Like, she might not be here, but I'll be here, so.
You want to talk to her, maybe. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, look, listen. I think I'm sexy enough for everybody, but, that's my ego, my opinion. So I think that's it. That's a wrap.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the Trash or Cash podcast, and we'll see you next time.
See, I like that. I should just leave it like, well, mine was going to be peace, trash, and cash, but I like hers better, so we can leave both. How about that? That's it. That's our podcast for today.
Hey.
Thank you.
Well, that concludes this episode of Trash or Cash. Make sure you follow on all socials at Trashmitter. That's TrashMitter. And keep up with all episodes at trashorcashpodcast.com.